Saint Anna Schäffer was born on the 18th of February 1882 in Mittelstetten, Germany. Although her family were of modest means, Anna grew into a healthy, strong maiden. From her childhood, she demonstrated a calm nature. Piety and love of God were instilled in her through the Christian upbringing given to her by her mother Therese. After the death of Anna's father, she and her family were left in great poverty, and young Anna had to drop out of school and began working as a maid at the age of 14. It was during these years that she had hoped to enter a religious order, but with many family obligations, she could barely make ends meet. In 1898, she had a vision of Christ in which she was told that she was destined to endure long and painful suffering. Although she tried to escape her fate, Anna, the maid servant, had a severe work accident. On February 4, 1901, while working at a laundry, Anna had accidentally slipped and fell into a boiler filled with boiling lye while reattaching a stovepipe which had loosened above a copper. She was taken to a hospital, but nothing could be done about the painful burns. More than 30 surgical operations followed, and the wounds had to be carefully dressed, which also caused much pain. Anna was now bedridden and had to abandon her long-time dream of entering a religious order. Her mother, however, was to care for her until the end of her life. Even when her mother became sick, many visitors told Anna that she will become a burden on her family, and hearing these hurtful words caused her great pain, but she bore it with love. She offered her suffering for the whole church, especially for the dying and those who commended themselves to her. It was a joy for her to be an offering for souls. She wanted to suffer following Jesus' example and recognized this as her life's task. Looking at the cross in prayer gave her the strength to do it, but her real strength came from the Eucharist. As she herself once wrote, "My greatest strength is in Holy Communion." Anna had never lost her optimism and became even more devoted to her faith while enduring constant suffering. She was unable to sleep, but continued to express her adoration of Christ and veneration of Mary. She had a special devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The most Sacred Heart of Jesus, as depicted in a letter by Anna that she wrote, was chosen as a logo. The flames from the heart are composed of ears of wheat, a reference to the sacrament of the Eucharist, in which we encounter the expiatory love of Jesus. A local abbot would bring her the Eucharist daily. Anna had once written about how happy her heart was each time she received communion, that she forgets her earthly sufferings, so much so that she would remain in a bed of suffering rather than live as a princess with worldly riches. She considered her sufferings, her writings, and her ability to knit clothes for her friends the three keys by which she could enter heaven. Her beatific attitude made her a beloved figure in town, and people would often visit her to hear comforting words of faith. From 1910, mystical phenomena developed around her. Among these extraordinary signs and examples of grace, we must count first all of her dreams, which she recorded for a spiritual director without his knowledge. She makes mention of her encounters with several saints, like Saint Gemma Galgani, Saint Gabriel Possenti, Blessed Anna Maria Taigi, and even Saint Therese of Lisieux, who appeared to her by her bedside and told her, on a sick bed, the virtue of courage is necessary, also including what could be described as stigmata, which she did her best to conceal from the public, and occasional waking visions which made her ecstatic. These developments brought no change in her attitude, though she remained selfless and promised prayers and letters for anyone who wanted them. On the 25th of April 1923, according to her own report, during a Good Friday vision, Anna experienced the suffering of Christ on the Mount of Olives. She fell into a rigor that lasted 8 hours, and they feared that she was dying. According to her spiritual father, Anna's eyes were fixed on an image of the Ecce Homo. From that day onwards, Anna's condition grew worse. Her legs were completely crippled, accompanied by spinal pain, painful cramps, and in the end, by rectal cancer. Remarkable, however, despite these extremely weakening cramps, Anna was still able to receive Holy Communion. Due to a fall from a bed in mid-August of 1925, she suffered from a brain injury that affected her speech, and on the morning of October the 5th, she received the final Holy Communion and suddenly spoke, "Jesus, I live for you." She died minutes later. The encounter with Saint Anna Schäffer's story raises the question of the meaning and what's even more, the value of suffering. She realized that it was a calling to pray for the church and the people and to suffer with Christ. She was true to her calling until death. In the face of the afflictions and the pain Anna had to suffer, which are beyond words, we can't but look up to her admiringly and bow. Saint Anna Schäffer, pray for us.